Hello, guys. So my eyes may be darting back and forth because I'm trying to keep my eyes on the lens here, but I'm also looking at myself in the camera over on this side. But anyway, so Fallout. Um, it looks like it's been greenlit for another season, and I'm excited for that. I really like the show. I put Mr. and Mrs. Smith on hold while I watch Fallout. I had to binge Fallout. It was, for me, it was that good. Saw the first two episodes and was just curious about where everything was going to go, and wasn't disappointed. Looking forward to season two. Um, Looking online, I noticed that there were some similar feelings about season two, especially since it's being handled by Jonathan Nolan, Christopher Nolan's brother. Uh, the series is being handled by Jonathan Nolan, and he was in due to him being involved in Westworld, which had an amazing first season, but just dropped the ball in other seasons. I want to say that Jonathan Nolan and even Chris Nolan at sometimes they kind of believe the hype, believe in their own hype in terms of their films and TV shows are considered thought provoking or philosophical. So they just went, or even they tend to go all out and try to believe that their films are, have much more deeper meanings when it's like, it's not that. It's not that deep. They shouldn't make it that deep or try to think they're making it that deep. Um, but hopefully season two will, continue to be just as good as season one. Uh, I'm not going to really do a full review. There's already YouTubers that do that, but I just wanted to give some of my just quick, hopefully it'll be quick thoughts on the show. Um, let's see. I asked the question for myself: is it the best video game to live action adaptation? I had Resident Evil, which I do enjoy. Well, was it Mila Jovovich in the red skirt and the black boots? Yes, but I thought it was okay. The story and acting needed a bit work. Silent Hill, I'm a big Silent Hill fan, particularly of the first three games, but I felt that it was more of a not a member berry, but the story had a lot of issues. Acting had issues, especially that beginning with Jodelle Ferland calling out to Silent Hill. that was uh, that was kind of uncomfortable because yeah, um, the idea of Pyramid Head showing up just because he was in a Silent Hill without meaning, because it had particular meaning in the second game for what's his name, James Sunderland's urges, and now he's just put in the games just because he's a familiar character. Then there was the Mario movie, the last Mario movie, which was animated. That also had story issues. It had heart. It had some emotional things going on there, but the story was, to me, paper thin when I watched it the second time. And I usually try to watch things the second time if I don't understand it or get something, or at least if I try to see if it still holds up, I should say. Now, back to Fallout. Let's look at my notes here. Walter Goggins. Everybody's saying Walter Goggins is good whatever, in whatever he's in. It's true. Walter Goggins is good in whatever he's in. No complaints there. I think he's one of those villains you really sympathize with, kind of like Gul Dukat from Star Trek Deep Space Nine. The villains who think they're doing something good, or yeah, they're on a pathway. They think they're yeah, think they're doing something good, but they're actually hurting people, and they're unfortunately everybody else they're villains. I like to see where his story ends up. Majority of my comments are from 7 and 8. I do need to watch episode 7, because I was kind of confused of the Vault 4 and the people they had in status. Uh, their what they were doing to the individuals in status. The From what I understood, it was they were in the right, but I need to watch it again to get a full the full understanding. Um, I do like how Maximus grew. There was a point in episode 7 where he sees oh, I forgot her name, Ella Purnell's role, where he sees her being carted away, and he looks at the popcorn, and then he looks up at her and says, okay, do I go ahead and save her, or keep to my little life that I've been exposed to? And I thought that was a good character moment, as well as, I don't know if it was director or acting moment, but it was good. um, I thought the inhabitants of Vault 4, and I noticed the vaults have a certain uh, people who are, how should I say it? I want to use the word NPCs, but the people who seem to be naive about what's going on around them, even within the vault. But I thought Vault 4's inhabitants were particularly hilarious, particularly the ceremony when Ella Purnell, I forgot her the character's name. Ella Purnell is being ousted from the vault, and they treat it like a big, like a ceremony. It is a ceremony, but the way they're treating it is like a, something to bring popcorn, which they do. You have an inhabitant that brings the overseer something. I forget what she brings him, whether it's the sword that he's using to cut Purnell's bindings. But the way she went back, the vault inhabitant that bought the overseer, the Cyclops overseer, something. It's the way she goes back to her chair. She's all happy with herself. I thought that was so hilarious. It's like the existence of these people is just so different that, something like that just excites them. Even to the point, well, even when the overseer finally, I guess, hits those binds, you hear the crowd. The crowd just goes crazy, which I thought was also hilarious. What else do I have in mind? I thought it was interesting. We saw Fred Armisen, who shows up. I guess he's from SNL. I don't really watch his SNL, but I just know his face. So I thought, oh, it's Fred Armisen. I had to look up his name too, because I know him mainly by face. Leslie Uggams and her hair. And the way she kind of walks really, at least had me thinking about, I'm saying she definitely looks like a Fallout character that you might meet in the game or see in the game. Eric Estrada, I thought was interesting. Shows up as a cameo. Would that be considered a cameo? Maximus, going back to Maximus, I thought that Fallout did a much better telling of a sort of stormtrooper being separated from his empire. Then they did a better way of telling that type of story than Star Wars Disney. I'm like, okay, this is what we should have done with Finn, which is interesting because if you want to make comparisons with Rey and or Daisy Ridley and Ella Purnell's in terms of Rey, Ella Purnell is kind of on her own quest, like Rey, and towards the end, I thought it was interesting as well. A lot of interesting things. Ella Purnell gives a kiss, not on the head like Daisy Ridley does to John Boyega in Force Awakens, but they do it, on the lips, which signifies more. Yeah, Disney and their relationships. People know they have issues there, but yeah, it's definitely an interest. I just saw some comparisons with with Rey and Finn, and with Maximus, and again Ella Purnell's role. Forgot her name. Uh, I say quirky robots on my where am I at 10 minutes. We need to finish this up. I don't like making too long videos for YouTube, but I like the quirky robots in Fallout. Overall, I've only played the third game, rented it from my college. Was curious about the universe, and I've seen clips online, so I pretty much got the Fallout vibe while watching it. And that's something, again, compared to the movies I compared it to, it's like I really get the vibe and the idea that it has good story, a good story and good acting adds to that, vibe. Something, again, I did not really get from Silent Hill as a big Silent Hill fan, and I didn't get from Resident Evil. Um, I thought Sarita Chaudhry, who plays Moldaver, she reminded me of the actress Shore Agdashlu. Shore Agdashlu is from The Expanse, and I saw her as an admiral in Star Trek Beyond. Yeah, I think that's my quick notes. Well, notes that are slowly but surely going passing 11 minutes now. Yeah, I look forward to season two. Uh, Good job. Hopefully, Nolan doesn't drop the ball.